It is a beautiful February day and I am not going to waste it. Got a little extra time today and I'm looking at redoing my front brakes on the Jeep. On the last trip we found out I had a little problem with my brakes, some of my doing, some not, but it definitely revealed a problem and it was definitely time to redo the brakes. Welcome back to another episode of Eric's Camping Adventures. I went with a Detroit axle kit. I have used Detroit axle before on a high mileage work car, and I decided to go with the drilled and slotted for the front, and I did that for one primary reason. Definite conclusion of the last adventure is for two people. The Jeep is too small for transport and supplies, so from now on the trailer's coming and I want some drilled and slotted rotors. I'm not going to waste any time today. We got the back wheel opposite side chalked, and gonna get a jack stand under the side I'm working on, and we're just gonna get in here and see what a disc brake is like on a 93 Jeep. And I'm not too worried about it. I've done plenty of disc brakes on other vehicles, and this will just be a different type. So my first thought is, you can see there's just a little ridge here on the edge, so you can tell they've definitely been worn, a bit rusty. I'm saying thin. Looks like there's two bolts that are going to hold the caliper slides in and the brake pads in. I'm going to pull those. See what we're looking at here. So the caliper slide bolt is a 12 millimeter. I apologize for the lighting on the passenger side of the vehicle. It is better when we get over to the driver's side. I always like to hang them so they aren't hanging on the hoses. Not bad to do some inspection for some leaks, and I'm looking in here and I do see that it looks like my axle seal might be losing a little bit. I don't know if that's normal or not. I don't really like any kind of drippage, but this is a 93 Wrangler. Looking at my rotor and then looking at my brake pads, it looks to me like someone may have replaced the brake pads but not replaced the rotor. The reason I say that is because if you look at this brake pad, you can see there's great contact all along here, but then a little rusty stuff right here. Probably that might mean that the pads had not worn to the shape of the rotor just yet, and might definitely, yeah, might have compromised my braking power just a little bit. In this section of the video, I'm actually doing something that's pretty critical with disc brakes. I'm actually going to grease the slides for the caliper. If you don't look at this step, you really could be overlooking something with your longevity of the brakes. If they don't slide well, and they're not cleaned and they're not greased, your caliper can bind up and provide continuous pressure on one side of the rotor because it won't slide and balance between the two sides. So greasing, cleaning, double checking this. I even stuck some extra grease inside my boot. It's a pretty important step. The Detroit axle kit actually came with a grease pack of its own to grease the different contact points between the brake pads and the caliper. I always carefully thread those caliper bolts by hand first before I tighten them. That is a brand new tire, and my center cap with Jeep on it has not yet come, but I'm going to put the tire on anyway because the other front tire is going on the trailer.
Well, something might be wrong, but that was about the easiest set of pads and a rotor I've ever done.
I did use a small pry bar to pry upward on the caliper to release it from the mechanism. Worked great. Before removing the brake pad on the piston side of the caliper, I actually just put a C-clamp in there, tightened it up, and compressed the caliper. The boots on both sides of the piston and the caliper look great. You should inspect that when you reassemble.
I am seeing that same little ridge right here. Old rotors, new pads, a little bit of a shortcut maybe in the past, but we're going to get this done right. You can even see a little bit of waviness in that rotor. Yep. It's the right decision to do this.
The caliper slides on the driver's side were not as clean as the passenger side. It did actually require some cleaning. I used a little bit of sandpaper, a little bit of WD-40, and then re-greased and reassembled. And then the caliper movement was quite free and able to balance the force between the inside and the outside of the rotor. If you're wondering why I'm sitting here in my running shorts and shoes, it's because I took my new little puppy dog Max for a 3-mile run and helped him blow some steam off before he was shut up in the house by himself without me. Just like the other side, I re-greased all the contact points between the pads and the caliper and reassembled.
Again, just about the easiest set of pads and a rotor I've ever switched out on any vehicle. In fact, I think one of the nicest things on this is you don't have to remove the bracket that holds the caliper in order to get the rotor off. And my Forester, Outback, Impreza, Honda Pilot, you had to remove the bracket in order to get the rotor off. Well, not on a Jeep. Yep, easiest rotors and pads ever.
Come back next time, we're going to get into the rear drums.